All right, so the big question is 33s. Can you fit 33s from stock tire to 33 without trimming? This is the Dmax Baby Diesel ZR2 2020. And, you know, I did my research, and I want to thank those people out there that have already, you know, did some of this to figure out if you have to trim, how much do you have to trim, all of that. And so in my calculations in doing this from the stock tire, this is the stock. So you can see that's a pretty good difference there. This is what I had to do. Before I did the swap, I did the Ready Lift spacer kit, and then I did the Peak Performance diesel spring coilover change, and that was a big job. I have another video on my channel that kind of shows you what I went through with that, because these diesel springs are really firm. If you're going to use your standard diesel spring compressor, you know, the big bolts that you just kind of compress, didn't work well for me. So I actually had to go to a guy's shop and borrow his actual commercial spring compressor, and was able to get that flipped around. Got the stock springs off, got the new ones on. Once I had the right compressor, it was easy. In other words, it was dangerous. I just want to say, very dangerous. So then on the back, I did the add-a-leaf because I like my truck level or just a little bit of a rake. I don't like the front end higher than the back, so I do like a little rake, so that's just my preference. So I did the add-a-leaf on the back. I did all this myself. And with that, the spring, I got about 1.5 inch lift with that. And then I did the diff drop, of course. I didn't mess with the diff drop because I had to get a alignment anyway, so I had my buddy's shop just go ahead and throw in the diff drop. It didn't cost me that much, and it's kind of a pain to do the diff drop without a lift, getting up, being able to see it. So working under the truck, I didn't want to mess with that. So diff drop, coilover springs, spacer kit, add-a-leaf. Did I have to trim, or could I put these? Now, these are I went from the Duratrack all-terrains to the General Grabber X3s. These are the mud, not the all-terrain, but the mud and tire. I really did my research. I want to say thank you to Expedition Overland, because obviously you're sponsored by General Tire, but in looking at that, look, I've had KO2s, I've had Nittos, I've had the Duratracks, I've had Wrangler, I've had Mickey Thompson, Baja, kind of went around the gamut. I did not have the grabbers. I really looked at the ATX, the new ATX all-terrains that General had, but I really wanted the lug pattern, and I tell you what, I was shocked, literally shocked at how quiet these guys are on the road. Literally no difference for me in my ears between the Duratracks and these bad boys, the X3s. They have just a little bit less traction in wet conditions, okay? That's a reality because you have less rubber touching the road. But I have more traction on dirt, more traction in the rocks. I've been off-road with these several times now, and I can't wait to get into the snow with these guys. Plus, they're a 10-ply. So these are rock solid, awesome tires, and I'm glad I went with the 33s. Now the question is, how much trimming did I have to do? Because I've been on the BDR, I've flexed this out completely. Do I have any rubbing? And I added mud guards. That was an important piece for me because I was tired of all the mud being on my door handles when I went up in the wintertime. So I had to do 0 trimming with the diesel springs because it's Duratrack. I have a winch, I have the bumper on this, and so the CBI half bumper and the winch. I have a 9.5 come up winch, waterproof, love it. It's a great rig, light bar, and with that, I went with the diesel springs. If you don't have a winch and if you don't have an aftermarket bumper, even if you have the diesel, don't get the diesel springs, because again, it's going to put too much flex and it's going to cause your CV joints to wear out sooner, especially with even if you do the diff drop. So just be sure you do the diff drop, and be sure you have an aftermarket bumper if you're going to do these peak performance coilovers. Now, in doing this, I had to trim 0. I've been fully flexed, being able to drive off-road. I did hear my mud flap rattle just a little bit one time, but I'm talking full flex, 0 trimming with the way I'm set up, and I have no issues, full articulation, same as I did before, better ground clearance, better traction. I am so happy. I know some guys like to go to the 35s, but for me, everything that I'm doing, I did not want to have to re-gear, okay? So putting the 33s on, I have a chip, and I also have the iDrive pedal controller, throttle controller. Oh my goodness, I am so happy with the way this is set up. Plenty of power, plenty of torque, and love the stance. It's just the right stance. And I even looked at, doing the AEV bumper guards for the 35s, and after reviewing how much trimming that would have to be done, that's intense. I mean, an intense job to do to put 35s on here. And then I'd have to change my rims, and I didn't want to have to change my rims. I wanted to keep the budget down. So I was able to go with stock rims, so the same offset, 285 70R17s, and with the coilovers and the spacer kit, no trimming. No problem in the back as well. They look great, they work great, very happy. So, hey guys, I hope this helps you out in the process, because I know, trimming this is kind of a pain in the butt if you really like to stick with stock. But you can see that this is a big tire difference. I mean, that's big. Now, obviously, you're looking at the overall diameter of it, so you're gaining an inch. So I gained about an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches ground clearance and on my axles. And I did do the Ragu fabrication shock guards, and I'm glad I did. That was a really good investment. Very simple to put on, but well worth it. So hope you enjoyed it. Dennis Trail Talk. Do me a favor, like it, subscribe it. We really appreciate it, because I'm just here trying to help out. If you've got a different experience with this, please let me know. If you found that something didn't work, tell me. If you got a better idea, let me know, because this is about the community for overlanding. Overlanding's so new here in America, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a great hobby for me to be able to just unplug and get out there and enjoy the world. So appreciate it. Have a great day.